Welcome to Speakernomics, the official podcast of the National Speakers Association. I'm Kenneth Kinney, but friends call me Shark. Like you, I'm a professional speaker and I love listening to Speakernomics. Speakernomics is a professional speaker show that will help you thrive and grow a speaking business so you too can change the world, one keynote session, workshop, and speech at a time. And on this episode, we'll be looking at a problem again from quite a few perspectives and from quite a few experts, a sweet 16 of them, in fact, all in one show. Then we'll draw some answers and insights from their points of view. Now, to all my speaking friends, what do you need in marketing to be successful? It's that one thing, right? That one bright, shiny object that we need to invest in that will make all of our business take off. Or is it something else? Or is it all the things together? What a speaker views as the most important piece of marketing material versus what a bureau or meeting planner or booking agent or other may not always be the same thing. Other than being a great speaker, though, our profession also requires us to do other jobs to be successful, like salesperson, accountant, travel agent, etc. The question is then, are you a great marketer, and what's the most important piece of marketing material for a speaker? Let's dive in then with the perspectives of speakers, coaches, agents, meeting planners, booking agents, and bureaus, and those that have seen great marketing in the industry. Hopefully some of their insights will help you take a new look at what it takes to become a better marketer and a better speaker. Let me remind you too that if you're not following their voices on the audio version, then make sure to check out NSA's YouTube channel to watch the video version of the show there. The experts we're showcasing today, all 16 of them in order of appearance, include Emmy Award winner, CSP, and Hall of Fame speaker, Mark Scherenbrock, certified speaking professional, Karen McCullough, from Speakers Bureau Speak Inc., Tim Matthey, speaker, Denise Hamilton, president and co-founder of speaker agency Campus Speak, David Stolman, speaking coach and author of Book More Business, Make More Money Speaking, Lois Kramer, CSP Frank Kitchen, from the Speaker Exchange Agency Bureau, Dia Star Rank, speaker trainer and keynote director, Mike Ganino, from Speaker Management Company, Michelle Joyce Speakers, Michelle Joyce, speaker Dennis Hsu, Deja Urbanovich, the founder behind Bureau and Event Services Company, Speechless, CSP and former Speakernomics host, Tom Singer, C Agency speaker, manager, and author of Become a Bookable Speaker, Krista Haberstock, from Speaker Video and Brand Building Company, Video Narrative, Chris West, and closing us out is certified meeting professional and senior manager of meetings and events for Destination South, Shannon Jones. And before we jump in, make sure to go to Speakernomics.com. That's where you can find the tips, insights, and knowledge to help you become a better speaker, build a better business, and get paid to speak. Now, let's learn from some special people, and then I'll see you on the other side with some key takeaways. Mark, what has been the most important piece of marketing for your speaking business?
Great marketing. Two answers for you. Number one, spend some time with Ross Bernstein. Ross Bernstein is the greatest speaker at NSA in finding clients. The guy is just incredible. He's the real deal. He's talented, but man, nobody is able to find prospects and turn them into clients better than Ross. So Ross he's the unicorn. For me, just the opposite. I'm not a unicorn. My belief is this, because yes, we have a website. Yes, our demo is okay. Yes, we do all the right things, kind of, sort of. I'm not huge into social media. I have 7 followers, I think. Not 1,000, just really 7. Our belief, Susie and I, who runs our business, my wife, our belief has always been there's someone in every audience that will bring you to the next audience. And if I do a stellar job on stage, my very best to connect with the audience, give them a message they'll remember, give them a hook that can help them, nice bike, that is going to lead to my next engagement. I just had a conference call yesterday with a client preparing for an engagement coming up in 2 weeks. I had another call right before you and I spoke, Shark, with a client coming up in May. Both the engagements, how'd you hear about me? I heard you speak at so-and-so. I heard you speak at, both of them had people in the room that said, we got to bring this guy in, the nice bike guy. So number one, every audience has somebody that's going to bring you to the next show. And number two, to have a memorable hook, like Shark, like Nice Bike, because people are not going to remember your name. but they will remember something that you said that resonates with them, that applies to their life, that they use, that's going to have them refer you. That's my marketing advice.
Karen, to you, what is the most important piece of marketing that a speaker can have for their speaking business?
I'm going to say your website. I am a website 100%. I started by speaking before websites came into place. It was when we had to mail things out to people, and we actually printed them. And I think I had 1,000 one-pagers. So I was pretty excited when the website came out, and we had that World Wide Web. So for me,
that was when you got the Voices of Experience tapes in the mail, right?
That was when we got them in the mail. That's right. And there were little tapes, and I would walk Memorial Park listening to Patricia Fripp. So when this all happened, I got excited because I have a branding background, and it was a way for us to show more, to be more, and to get it out there to more. So I feel like your website is your calling card. I'm doing a lot of coaching right now, helping not beginner speakers, but people that are on the journey. And people say, okay, it's got to be your speaker reel, but sometimes your reel isn't great. But your website can be. It can show who you are. It can show your brand. It can show all of your energy and your ideas and your perspective, if you put your perspective on the About page. And I feel like it can house video. And when you get that video that you love and you're sending it out, guess where it's going to sit? It's going to sit on your website. So for me, it's the website.
Tim, in your eyes, what is the most important piece of marketing that can help you help a speaker wherever, get booked for a gig?
Sure. For me, and if I had 100 make-believe dollars to do marketing, especially marketing to speaker bureaus, I'd put 99 of those dollars into my demo reel. That's to me the main thing. I think website and social media has become more important, but still, meeting professionals and bureaus, they want to see that demo reel. And I know sometimes it's hard to make, it's hard to create, but that's it. That's to me the key of any type of marketing piece as far as for a speaker.
Denise, what is the most important piece of marketing? And we hear so many different things: website, demo reel, got to have your business cards, got to be 30 other things. What is the most important piece of marketing that a speaker can have for their speaking business?
For me, it's thoughtful, confident thought leadership. And that means you're consistent wherever you are. On social media, you're sharing real wisdom, real thoughtful ideas that people can learn from and grow from. Your content on your website, there's a through line of confidence. We have a lot of apologetic, and I would dare say replicated thought leadership. Stop regurgitating other people's ideas. Put forth your own courageously and confidently. And I believe your people will find you. Some people will be turned off by it. That's okay. They weren't going to be your customers anyway. But if you're courageous in putting forth how you see the world, I believe that's how your people find you.
David, what do you find makes the best marketing material for a speaker? I know you're in the college market, but college market or not.
Yeah, well, I think all of education is just, when I think of marketing, you can think of Coca-Cola. The best Coke marketing is an example. They're not describing the brown liquid in the can, but the impact once the can is empty. So what I see that is a typical speaker mistake in marketing, whether it's video or it's a print piece, social, it's describing them. It's describing their secret sauce, their outlook on the world, what drives them to do the work that they do as the center of their marketing campaign, as opposed to the impact of their work. And so, I see great marketing as something where you can feel that red sort of thread that goes through all of those things. The impact of what they do being center, that impact being understood by the three different audiences: the person that's writing the check for the impact, the person that's arranging and selecting the speaker to make an impact on the third audience, that audience who consumes and becomes better because of the speaker. And when that red thread starts there and goes back through the speaker's credentials and the speaker's way of looking at the problem and the speaker's authority and experience and their, what their drive and their background and all of those things, but centering it around the impact that is delivered to the audience and going back to everything else. That's where I see great marketing.
Lois, what is the most important piece of marketing that a speaker can have for their speaking business to get it off the ground and moving and getting them into gigs?
That's a great question. And I would tell you, I don't think there's just one, but a couple of things. I think you have to have social proof that you can do and deliver on what you say you can do. I think testimonials are incredibly important because that's what gives the person who doesn't know you, who has not seen you, the confidence to know, like, and trust you. So testimonials in the form of social proof, incredibly important. You have to have a great website, great marketing materials, but I would say second after social proof, really second after social proof, you have to have great video. This is a visual medium in speaking, and you have to be able to showcase what you're going to do for that client. That client wants to have the confidence that you can do what you say you can do, and showing yourself on the platform in front of an audience is absolutely key. So beyond just a speaker video, having clips, just separate clips, YouTube shorts work great. Professional speakers right now that showcase your ability to present, remembering that nobody is going to watch your whole speech on video. They're going to look at clips. And in those clips, you may not have time to make an entire point, but they will look at your style, your energy, and do you seem to be connecting with the audience? I think those are two really important things.
Frank, what is the most important piece of marketing that a speaker can have for their business?
It sounds crazy, Shark, but I think the most important piece of marketing is a great program. I mean, people want to talk about funnels and clicks and websites and videos, but it's difficult to sell. We're here in Speakernomics, so we can watch our language, but poop. I mean, that's the best thing I can say about it is if you don't have a good product. I mean, we watch it on a day-to-day basis when it comes to marketing. And I'll say movies, for example, and you watch these movies, they put this big marketing campaign into the movie to get people in that first weekend. People see the movie and the movie's terrible. So word of mouth goes and you find out this is the #1 movie the first weekend. And the next weekend it's dropped like 60 or 70% because it wasn't quality. But then you have these other movies where they're just amazing and the word of mouth spreads and more people book it. And you don't see lots of commercials or marketing campaigns. They have a quality product. So the #1 thing for marketing is to have a quality product.
Dia, in your eyes and what you see with clients, is the most important piece of marketing that a speaker can have to elevate their speaking business and get booked?
Without a hesitation, it's the demo video for sure. I'll age myself a little bit, but we used to call them sizzle reels, back in the day. Speaker had a sizzle reel. And I kind of like to lean more now into a demo reel, meaning that it's not just all the flash and glitz that clients are asking to see. When they want to see, what they are asking to see now is most speakers are putting flashes of testimonials. There are lots of client testimonials. They're also putting lots of flashes of name brand companies like Google and Walmart and, big fancy places that they've done work with or for. And while clients don't mind seeing that, that is not really what they're after when they're taking their 4 to 7 minutes to sit down and look at you on a video. I mean, obviously the normal assets, professional headshots, bios, topic titles with descriptions, and then, tangible learning objectives of what you'll learn from that keynote. But the video, the clients want to see you and they want to see you on stage. And they don't want to just see flashes of, oh, he was in this big arena or she was on this, little boardroom adventure or a huge stage with, 2 big screens and lights. What they want to see is they want to see you up there talking and delivering the content. So different, again, take us back 10, 15, 20 years ago, the sizzle reels were just a lot of flashy, commercially woo-woo. And now in these demo reels, I would tell you clients are, in fact, I'll have a client, if I have a speaker reel that is still a little too flashy and not enough content, I'll have a client say to me, can you get me another video of them just doing their keynote? I mean, these clients are hungry to hear what you have to say. So while you don't want to give away the bank in your sizzle reel, right? You need to leave some of the good juicy stuff for the bang to the story or joke or whatever. I get that. But having, I would tell you 75% of that video, however long it is, be of you actually delivering nuggets of information on stages is way more important than you showing what glamorous companies you've worked for or client testimonials that are, of course, are going to say wonderful things about you, right? So when it comes to an asset, that to me, hands down, is what clients want to see. And one final tip I'll give you on that, because these videos, as you well know, they take a ton of time, constantly gathering as much video as you can, and they cost a ton of money to produce. They truly do, unless you know how to do it yourself. But one little tip I might share with your viewers is, as you're compiling your video libraries of you being on stages, try to make sure that either the person if it's a videographer that you've hired or maybe that the company has or whatnot, make sure when you produce your video, your demo reel, get rid of any dates in your, don't be behind a screen that says 2023 or 2024, whatever, because we will have clients that might, a 2-year-old video should be just fine. I mean, maybe you've improved a little in 2 years, but overall, if you're a professional speaker, there's not probably been leaps and bounds of changes of your video in 2 years. But I'll tell you what, if a client sees that video was from 2022, they might ask me, well, do they have something more current? And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so hard to do that. So just a fun tip as you're producing these videos, just be mindful of keeping out dates behind you, and don't mention the C word of COVID anymore, because again, that stamp dates the video. Yeah. So few tips for fun.
No, and that's a great one, because I've done the same thing in a previous video of mine, where in the YouTube or the Vimeo video, don't name it with the year, like 2022, that example demo reel. So
yeah. Absolutely. So, but hands down, these videos are, and I think it's hard to be a speaker because these are all assets. Without them, I really don't care how great of a speaker you are. From a bureau perspective, without these assets, we cannot sell you. We just can't. I can't tell a client, oh my goodness, he's amazing. I've seen him in person. They have to see something. So, and also having in your hip pocket, in addition to the sizzle or to the demo reel, I would have a few 10 or 15-minute clips of you actually delivering programs that are easy to pass on to a bureau if needed. Because again, clients do ask for that when they're making a decision to hire you.
Mike, what is it to you that is the most important piece of marketing that a speaker can have for their speaking business?
I really struggle with what is the most important piece of marketing, because I have I'm going to say two things. I have to.
Okay.
Obviously a video. I think we're going to hear video from everybody. A video, a video that's good, by the way, not just any video, but a video that does what it needs to do. Hands down, I don't think you're going to find anyone argue. The other thing that maybe is more subversive, I don't know if it's subversive, but it's not something you hear a lot, are relationships. I think you can get really far without a video with the right relationships. Somebody who has the right connections, who saw you here, who introduces you and says, oh no, hire this one because they're so good. I know they don't have a video, but they're so good. So I think relationships are why, when I look at the people who are getting booked and booked and booked again, when I look at my clients who are booked and busy, it is almost always because they have deep relationships and they're really good at building them when they're on the road. They're calling people, checking in with them. And it's not like sleazy networking of hey, can you get me in the door? It's just true, honest relationships. Right. And I think a video is great. You got to have it. But I think that the relationship is even more important.
Well, and we were talking about this yesterday. Our mutual friend, Brian Fanzo, I credit him with writing a blog 100 years ago about great speaker websites, and yours was in there. What's your viewpoint with websites?
I think websites as well. It's a little bit, it's all decoration, right? It's all value. So if you're going to call someone and say, hey, I am worth X amount of dollars, they're going to look for clues of that. How did you communicate? What was your space like? None of it alone means anything, but all of it together says a lot. So your website, the clarity on your website of what you do, how you do it, your viewpoint, what the audience needs, the colors, the branding, the logo, the photos, all of it is a signal again, if you have a great website and you're not doing a great job at relationships and your video's not great, you're not going to win.
Right.
But when everything is just continually dialed up, you just keep checking the dials, you have your best shot at doing so. So I think websites are certainly important because they're a value and a quality signal.
Michelle, what's the most important piece of marketing that any speaker can have to elevate their speaking business?
I'm going to be a little tricky on this one because I want to include more than one answer.
Okay.
I'm going to say the best marketing asset a speaker can have is a comprehensive website that includes everything a meeting planner needs to know at 2 a.m. at their fingertips, including, and here's what I wanted to make sure I put in there, including a fantastic demo video. They're equally important, so I have to say both. You have to have a great website, but you also have to have a great demo video.
As an agent, you represent a lot of higher dollar, than the average worker speaker, if you will. Do you see where that changes over? I mean, obviously, it seems like the bigger they get in their fees, sometimes, not necessarily always, but sometimes the better their website is for having all of those things.
Actually, I don't think so. I know a lot of speakers at a lot of different fees that have fantastic website. I think in today's world, having a great website is not as hard as it used to be.
True.
Right? We're living in a digital world. So it's not like it's a foreign entity. I think the demo videos get a little bit fancier as your fee increases, as they should, right? Because people with larger fees demand larger audiences and they have more credibility in that space. But I think it's important to understand what meeting planners are looking for. So when I'm talking to speakers, that's the lens that I'm always looking through. What do my meeting planners or my bureau partners look for? And, there's a big pitch towards self-service websites. People, they want everything and they want it at 2:00 in the morning when you're not available to take a call. So just make it easy to do business with you. Have everything in the right place, right? So have your program descriptions, have why your area of expertise is important to that audience, have testimonials, have proof that you are who you say you are on stage. That's where the demo video comes in. Meeting planners ultimately are looking to eliminate risk. They can't get on a plane and preview 20 speakers. So that video has to show exactly how you're going to show up for them and their audience.
Dennis, in your opinion, what is it that it makes the best marketing material for a speaker to have to help them grow their speaking business?
Shark, to grow your speaking business, the best thing to have is a series of podcasts. Why? Because just like Mexican food, where you have beans, cheese, rice, tomatoes, that can be repurposed into a book, into a YouTube channel, onto your website, into a brochure, into all kinds of other related materials. And there's nothing as powerful as the co-trust from content you create with other people. And the beauty is you only need to do it once. I remember I got on an episode with Shep Hyken because I have a best-selling book in social media. And that podcast episode has gotten us clients. It's improved my SEO. It's grown my social media following to 1 million followers because of that episode and other podcast episodes that we were able to repurpose. People want to listen to experts that are discussing something, not you talking about how great a speaker you are.
All right, Deja, what do you think is the most important piece of marketing that a speaker can have for their speaking business in order for them to get booked?
I am going to say a great reputation. I think this might be unconventional compared to what my colleagues in the speaking industry might say, but a great reputation in my mind is probably the most undervalued, powerful tool when it comes to building your speaker business. And I say that because it's overlooked, except for the fact that the majority of a speaker's gigs are going to come from referrals. And the reason why you're going to get referrals is because you have a great reputation. And I'll also say that the opposite is true. One of the things that can derail a speaker business quicker than anything else is a bad reputation. In fact, I just had a conversation with one of my colleagues last week about a speaker. We'll call her Rachel. And she asked if I ever did business with Rachel. And I had in the past. And she said that she had too, and it was terrible. Rachel ended up canceling last minute within 24 hours. And I had a very similar experience with her. Now, I want you to think about that for a moment, Shark. Here now are two bureaus that both have a poor impression of Rachel. And so when I'm in my next conversation with the next bureau about a speaker, and they say, oh, I'm thinking about hiring Rachel. What's your experience with her? We now have two data points that are not looking so good for Rachel. So I think that when it comes to marketing, the best thing you can do is have a great reputation.
And this fictional Rachel, and again, it's fictional, is probably blaming bureaus for not getting her book nearly enough. So, but for somebody that's a new speaker, or one that you're not, I say new speaker to you, or one that you don't have a good reference line on, what do you do? Because you're not just recycling the people that you do know or that your friends know. Sometimes it might be a new person to you.
You know, you would think that, but the truth is that my directory is tens of thousands of speakers, meaning I've worked with that many. And so a new speaker coming in is a very large hurdle to get over. However, it's not impossible. So part of having a great reputation will also include different aspects. So word of mouth, if there are any reviews of you on LinkedIn, you can create reputation for yourself. It doesn't have to just be, I work with this bureau and this bureau is going to tell me. There are so many other ways that you can create a great reputation for yourself, from the content that you're putting out there, either on YouTube or Instagram or any social, LinkedIn, to the reviews that maybe you even get on Google for a Google business. There are actually countless ways that you can create a great reputation for yourself. Another way that you can, especially for new speakers, get a great reputation is through other speakers. So I find, Stark, you and I were just talking about this, that speakers tend to be a part of different mastermind groups with other speakers or forums with other speakers. And so if you have a great reputation with them, and a speaker doesn't have to have seen you to say, yeah, Shark's a great guy. And that's all you need. Hey, Shark's a great guy. He's worth your 5 minutes. Or Rachel is a great lady. She's worth 5 minutes of your time. And that's really all you're asking for when it comes to a great reputation, is a moment for that initial connection. So yeah, under leveraged is speaker to speaker, because with any luck, some of the speakers in your mastermind group are actually speaking. And that means that they have this client that they maybe can't go back to because their content is different or the client is looking for something different. So what better way than to pay it forward than to say, hey, you know what? You liked me as a speaker. I think you might want to talk to Shark for next year.
Oh, they got to do that. Tom, what is the most important piece of marketing that a speaker can have that helps drive them to get more business?
Beyond the website and the video, I think the one thing that is the secret weapon to all speakers is how many speaker friends do you have? I think when you get around other people who are working in this business, who are actually having clients, delivering speeches, you learn how to do the sales, you learn how to do the marketing, you learn how to be better on stage, because when you get around people who are doing it, success leaves clues.
Krista, in your opinion, what do you think is the best marketing material for a speaker?
41% was the number for a long time of meeting professionals who say that video or a speaking reel is their number one tool in choosing a speaker. So I'm going to go with the math. The speaking reel is the number one tool. There was a time when I thought websites were going away, like at the dawn of social media, like the mid 2000s, I thought, oh, it's just going to be social media. No one's going to need a website. Well, here we are. Websites are still super important. It's your home. It's your portal of delivering all of the good stuff to people. So I would say that. So obviously your video, your website. I will get pushback on this, so I'm going to say it, but I don't really know why a person needs a one sheet, but gosh, like there are people who love the old one sheet. So I don't
I don't mind to make one, but at the same time, it feels very antiquated. But then again, some people do love it. And again, your fee is part of your marketing. So if your fee does not match your the quality of your brand, then there's a mismatch. If your fee doesn't match the quality of your brand, there's a mismatch in your offering. That's going to create some white noise, right? It'll create some static. So let's say that your brand is super high level and your video has you on large stages and your website shows that you speak with like the Fortune 200 companies, and your fee is $5,000. People go, well, what's wrong with him? Or what's wrong with her? And the opposite is definitely true as well. If you're just small market stages and you have testimonials from regional rotaries and, like there's not a lot of credibility there. It doesn't look like you've been speaking for a long time and your fee is $15,000. That's a mismatch. And they're going to say, well, what's wrong with them? Same thing. So that's a really, really big one as far as marketing materials that I think people overlook.
Chris, what is the most important piece of marketing that a speaker can ever have for their speaking business?
Well, I will tell you it's an interesting answer simply because I run a video production company, but I do believe it is your keynote. If you have a phenomenal keynote, one that blows people away, it is the number one marketing tool because it constantly gets you to 2 to 3 more engagements every single time. However, second to it is your speaker reel. People make more decisions based on the speaker reel than any other factor in a speaking brand.
Or a video of your keynote.
I don't know. I find that I watch a lot of videos and a lot of keynotes, and in person, the power, it's hard to convey that. And that's why the right music is the right tone with the right speech. When you watch a video of a keynote, it never has the power of, as you have in the room. And so the secret is if you are to make a full length version of your keynote, you want to put a little music at the right moments to actually create that same energy that you have in a room when there's 500 people watching.
Whether it's website, demo reel, PDFs, content, what do you find, or if it's all the things or social media and then some, what do you find is the most important piece of marketing that a speaker should have to help grow their speaking business and help them, get selected?
Yeah, I think from a content perspective, I always look for videos. I look to feel kind of, if I'm watching this person, what am I going to see? I will be honest, I am a relationship-based person. So for me, a lot of the speakers that I have booked and the recommendations that I give are based on either business or personal relationships that I have had. And I know that my recommendation to either a client or a fellow colleague is not going to fall short, because nobody likes to recommend something that they can't put their own stamp on, right? So I really think word of mouth and relationship building is extremely important. But from a content perspective, if I don't know the person and it's just been a name that's been thrown at me, I will go and watch videos, check out the website, sometimes request a call with somebody if I, feel passionate about their video, their topic, but still maybe have a couple questions or a couple hesitations. I would love to talk to that person face to face.
How often do you think it's a cold introduction to someone versus someone or was referred to you? 50% of the time?
I would say I'm probably more in line with like 75% of people who either I or my client has seen in person or knows. I've definitely helped my clients book speakers that they have seen, that they have been recommended, because it already has their stamp of approval. Mm-hmm. So I would say it's probably heavier on the relationship side than the content side.
Let's do a quick recap then based on their expert marketing advice. Number 1, no shocker here, but the demo reel is mentioned most often as the most essential marketing tool. Regardless of the angle of the point of view, People want to see you in action, delivering value on stage. But websites were a close second. Put your video there. And I especially like to mention a podcast because it gives you a chance to build your framework and philosophy, but also let you repurpose a lot of content as well. Number 2, relationships and reputation drive bookings. What a great reminder that strong positive reputation fuels word of mouth referrals, while a bad one spreads just as fast, killing opportunities. Speakers who build authentic, lasting connections thrive. Number 3, it's not one thing, it's all the things. That marketing has to focus on them and not just you or your ego. There are always plenty of channels, whether it's a website, video, or social content. The focus should be on the transformation you create for event planners, decision makers, and attendees alike. 2 more quick considerations. Number 4, it's not one channel, but all the channels that tell a story that work together that should be consistent and authentic to tell your story. When you step your marketing game up, then it always seems that a rising tide lifts all boats and not just one. Number 5, you've got to have a great speech, or else the rest is just packaging. There are a lot of extremely successful speakers, many Hall of Famers, and folks in the $1 Million Club as speakers, in fact, who don't have great demo reels or great websites, but meeting planners book them again and again, know that their product far exceeds their marketing. Friends, make sure to join us at Speakernomics.com and let your voice be heard. I am Kenneth Kinney, your host of the National Speakers Association's podcast, Speakernomics, and this has been another fantastic episode of the show. Thank you for the privilege of your time, and remember, Speakernomics is a podcast where you'll learn to speak, get paid, repeat.